going to just talk about decimals again, and we're going to particularly look at thousands and understand what thousands are. So I've drawn a little quick place value chart on the board. If that is the decimal point, what's this column stand for? Can everybody just shout it out?
Units.
Ones or units, yeah. Okay, what's this column?
Tens.
And what's this column?
Hundreds.
Good. Right, so if that's the decimal point, what's that column? Shout it out.
Tens.
And that one?
Hundreds.
And that one?
Thousands.
Good. So, if I had the number 3.05, can you write that on your whiteboards in the right columns or on your place value chart if you've got a place value chart? Good. Well done. Right, good. So we have put 3 in the ones column. 3 there. We've got no tenths at all. We've got 5 hundredths. Yeah? Okay. Why didn't we just put the 5 in there? Why did we still put the 5 in there, even though that column is empty?
Because it's 5 hundredths.
Yes, it's 5 hundredths. If we put it in there by mistake, it would have made 5 tenths. If that column is empty, you must have a placeholder in there. Otherwise, you're going to get a very different number. You're going to actually get a bigger number if you've got 5 tenths rather than 5 hundredths. Good. So, if I were to write this number on my place value chart, what can you tell me about that number? Can you partition it? Can you break it down? How many whole ones are there?
4.
There are 4 whole ones. Good. How many tenths are there?
1.
1. So that's 0.1. Good. How many hundredths are there?
0.
None. Good. So we don't need to pop it in there. And what's that number? What does that represent?
5,000.
5 thousandths. Well done. So no whole ones, no tenths, no hundredths, 5 thousandths. So that number is 4 ones, 1 tenth, no hundredths, 5 thousandths. Okay? So I would like you on your whiteboard to do the same for this number for me. And everybody at home as well, can you partition that number down here, please? Split it up down here. Good. Hold your boards up when you're done. Well done. Very good. Good. Excellent. Well done. Right, let's work on it all together. So how many ones have we got?
3.
How many tenths have we got?
1.
1 tenth. How many hundredths have we got?
0.
None. And what's that one?
6,000.
6 thousandths. Good. Right, so we've partitioned that number into its different parts. Everybody all right with that? Yeah? Okay, now, sometimes with numbers, well, that's a nice easy way to partition because you can see exactly where each digit fits and what the value of each digit is. Sometimes we can partition numbers in a slightly different way. So if I had say 1.2, I could partition it and say, well, that's 1 whole 1, and then it's 2 tenths. Can you think of a different way of partitioning it? Can you think of any other way you could partition it? Perhaps not like that, but a different way of partitioning it. Can you do it on your whiteboard, please? Good, well done. Hold up the board as soon as you've done it. Okay, so lots and lots of different ways of partitioning it. That's the obvious one, but you could, for instance, say, well, we could have 0.8, and what else would we need to go with 0.8 to make 1.2?
0.4.
0.4, good. You could have 0.3. What would go with 0.3 to make 1.2? 0.9. Okay, and so on. The different possibilities are endless. So though we normally partition it like that into different parts, you can partition it in lots of different ways. So you can break it up into lots of different ways. Good. Okay. So just wanted you to think about that. Obviously, you can think about different ways of partitioning numbers. Now, when you think about whole numbers, about decimal numbers are parts of a whole. If you think about this as a whole number, think about this as a tenth. How many of these would I need to make one of those? If I was going to build one up, how many of these would I need to make a whole one? 10. I would need 10 of those. Yeah? A tenth. I would need 10 of them to make a whole one. If you think about this as a hundredth, how many hundredths would I need to make a tenth?
1,000.
How many of these would I need to make a tenth? So
10.
10. Good. Well done. Yes. So I need 10 of those to make a tenth. Okay. If I think of this as a thousandth, how many of those would I need to make a hundredth? How many of those would I need to make a hundredth? How many, if I built that up, how many would I need, Jane?
10.
Yes, good. Right, okay, so a whole one, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Yeah? So, going back to our whole number and to our thousandths, how many thousandths in a whole one? How many of those little cubes would I need to make that?
Oh, you need 1,000.
I would need 1,000 of them. Yeah? 1,000 of those to make a whole one. They are thousands, so 1,000 of them would make a whole one. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, so think about numbers in terms of how you build them up. Good. Okay. So, just move on to the next slide. So we can use our chart, our place value chart, to build up our numbers. So rather than write the digits in, we could actually draw the counters, or use the counters if we have counters. So if we had 3.42, we've got 3 ones, we've got 4 tenths, okay, in the tenth column, and then we've got 2 hundredths in the hundredths column. Yeah? Does everybody see that? So we can actually build those up using the counters to show how many we've got. How many would I need in the tens column before it was full and I had to go into the ones column?
You need 6 more, and then it'll be 10. And
Yeah. So if I get to 10, we can't fit 10 in there. Once we get to 10, we've got 10 tenths, so that would go into the ones. So if we go back to our apparatus, if I had 10 of those blocks, that makes a whole one. So instead of putting 10 circles in there, I could get rid of my 10 circles and put 1 in the whole one, because I've got enough to make it into a whole one. Does that make sense? Good. Okay. So if I had I looked at the hundredths column, how many would I need to have in there before I move into the tens column? How many would I need in there to make it full?
You need 10.
I need 10, yeah. And when I've got 10 in there, 10 hundredths, so when I've got 10 of those, I've got a tenth. Yeah? So when I've got 10 of those, 10 in there, it's the same as, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can't actually fit 10 in, it's now full, so you get rid of those 10, and we go into the 10th column, 1 in there. Does that make sense to everybody? So if I said to you, what is 1.16 plus another 4 hundredths, so we've got 1 whole one, 1/10, 6 hundredths, and I'm adding 4 more hundredths, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is now full because we've come up with 10. So we get rid of those and swap them. Yeah, we've got 10 of those, so we get rid of our 10 and swap it for one of those. So put it into there. So the answer would be 1.2. 1.2. Well done. Okay. We'll go over that some more another day, but just to remind you about the columns and how we move over the barriers. Okay.